In life, we often carry a vague yet heavy fear within us. The fear of being judged, of not being loved, of being looked down upon or abandoned. Because of that, many of us have grown accustomed to trading our inner peace for a smile of approval, a nod of agreement, or simply to avoid someone's disapproving glance. We rush to please others, trying to meet every expectation, as if our entire existence were built just to prove, I am worthy, I am good enough, I deserve to be loved. But have you ever asked yourself, after all those efforts, what do we truly receive? Is it real happiness, or just endless exhaustion? Is it peace, or merely a quiet emptiness inside, where the voice of our true self is drowned out? The Buddha once said, "The one who knows how to keep their mind at peace has nothing to lose." True happiness is not found in people's opinions or in fleeting words of praise. It arises when our mind is no longer swayed by the outside world, when we can live authentically, without pretense, without force, without trying to become the version others want us to be. Today, with the theme, Stop Sacrificing Your Peace for Others, Buddha's wisdom journey invites you to pause and reflect. We will look deeply into a simple yet often forgotten truth. Life does not require us to struggle for validation from others. It only asks that we dare to return to ourselves. Take a moment to reflect on an ordinary day of your life. How many times have you said yes, while your heart was quietly whispering no? How many times have you forced a smile while carrying heaviness or even pain inside? How many times have you endured and given up parts of yourself just to maintain a fragile sense of peace in a relationship? Each time we do this, we give away a piece of our inner peace, and over time, this becomes a dangerous habit, living for others while forgetting ourselves. Eventually, we no longer know what we truly want, what we truly need, or where real happiness lies. The Buddha taught, when the mind is at peace, the world is at peace. This means no one outside can bring us true peace if we cannot protect it within ourselves. Like a glass of clear water, just one drop of ink can cloud it entirely. If we let our mind be constantly disturbed by people's opinions and expectations, our clarity fades, and we lose sight of our own path. So the question is, can we live kindly with others while still keeping our inner peace, without sacrificing ourselves? The answer, through the light of the Dharma, is yes. Because peace does not come from pleasing everyone, but from listening to ourselves, setting healthy boundaries and practicing compassion, not only for others, but also for ourselves. This path is not always easy, but it is essential. When we safeguard our peace, we can share with the world something genuine. We no longer live with masks or pretense. Instead, we live authentically, love sincerely, and give from the purest place within us. Today, in the flow of Buddha's wisdom journey, let us walk together in this reflection, not to reject sacrifice or kindness, because compassion is the heart of Buddhism, but to learn the difference between giving from a place of openness and love versus giving that wounds and empties us. Once we understand this difference, we will know how to live more harmoniously, holding peace within while nurturing love around us. So take a moment now, breathe, let your mind rest, and walk with us on this journey of wisdom. Sometimes just one quiet pause is enough to open a new doorway, the doorway leading back to the peace that has always been within you. 1. Understanding the true value of peace. From an early age, we are often taught that success, fame, or the recognition of others is the measure of our worth. We study hard, work tirelessly, and build relationships with the hope that one day our efforts will be acknowledged. Yet after years of chasing approval, we eventually realize that such recognition is like drifting clouds. It comes and goes, constantly shifting with people's moods, circumstances, and changing hearts. Peace, on the other hand, does not depend on anything external. It does not need praise, nor does it fear criticism. It arises only when the mind becomes still, like a calm lake untouched by ripples. Others may say what they wish, praise or blame, love or dislike, but when our mind is steady, those voices pass by like a gentle breeze. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, "There is no fire like lust, no sin like hatred, and no suffering greater than the unrest of the mind." When the mind is restless, even glory becomes meaningless. But when the mind is at peace, even amidst adversity, the light of dawn still shines. Thus, the true value of life does not lie in how many people we please, but in how much peace we can preserve within ourselves. A peaceful person speaks gently. Their gaze is clear. Their steps are light. Without needing to display anything, they naturally radiate an energy that brings comfort to those around them. 2. Why do we sacrifice our peace? If peace is so precious, why do we give it up so easily? The answer lies in the hidden fears within us. First is the fear of rejection. Every human being longs to be loved and accepted. When we sense that our presence or affection might be denied, we often abandon our own truth just to hold on to a fragile connection. We say yes when we mean no. We stay silent though our heart aches with resentment, all because we fear losing someone, a relationship, or a place to lean on. Next is the fear of losing status or position. In work and in society, we often find ourselves caught in an invisible race, maintaining an image, preserving reputation, proving competence. To achieve these, we sacrifice rest, sleep, and even inner calm. We turn ourselves into machines, constantly striving to please bosses, colleagues, clients, only to climb a little higher. Yet the cost is a spirit that grows dry, weary, and empty. Deeper still is attachment to the ego. We want to look good in the eyes of others. We want to be seen as kind, reliable, selfless. And so, we dare not refuse, dare not show fatigue or weakness, fearing it will shatter the image we've carefully built. But by clinging to this polished self, we slowly drift away from who we truly are. The Buddha pointed out that all suffering begins with attachment. When we cling to appearances, to praise and blame, to expectations, we weave for ourselves an invisible net. And within that net, peace cannot exist. 3. The path of letting go. Fortunately, the Buddha also showed us the way out. The path of letting go, of returning to ourselves. First, remember his words. No one can bring you peace except yourself. This is not merely a reminder, it is a fundamental truth. If we keep searching for peace in others, in approval, in smiles of praise, we remain like a thirsty traveler in the desert, drinking endlessly yet never satisfied. Only when we turn inward, caring for the mind and nurturing stillness, do we find the inexhaustible spring of peace. Second, we must learn to say no. Saying no is not selfishness or indifference. On the contrary, it is an act of wisdom. When we clearly see what disturbs the mind, we dare to refuse and set healthy boundaries. In doing so, we protect our pure energy so it can continue to love and give. A heart that is overburdened and constantly trying to please will eventually close in exhaustion. But a heart that knows how to protect itself can remain open, strong, and generous. Finally, we must practice mindfulness. Whenever we find ourselves caught in expectations or fears, we can pause, take a deep breath, and ask, is this truly necessary for my peace? Mindful breathing is a simple yet profound key. It brings us back to the present moment, illuminates the illusions of the mind, and helps us discern what to let go and what to keep. When we look deeply, we will see that pleasing others does not always come from compassion. Often, it is bound by fear and ego. And once we recognize this difference, we can choose another path, the path of freedom and peace. The path of letting go is not an escape from life, nor is it a rejection of people and circumstances. On the contrary, letting go is learning to look deeply, to see clearly what nourishes us and what destroys us, what is worth holding on to, and what must be released. Letting go does not make the heart cold. It creates more space for breathing, for loving, for opening fully to life. Some believe that keeping peace for oneself is selfish, that it means turning away from others. But the truth is quite the opposite. When we lose our inner peace, the mind becomes restless, and the heart is filled with resentment. Even when we try to please others, the energy we radiate is heavy and forced. Our words may sound gentle, our smile may look bright, but deep inside lies a fatigue that cannot be hidden. Others will sense this falseness, and sooner or later, the relationship will crack. In contrast, someone who knows how to preserve peace never runs out of love. They know how to give without draining themselves. They know how to set boundaries while remaining kind. They know when to pause without closing off their heart. Their inner peace itself becomes the greatest gift they can offer. Such a person is like a quiet spring of water, unassuming, humble, yet refreshing and nourishing to all who come near. It is important to remember, peace is not something distant, reserved only for sages in the mountains or those who lead worldly life. Peace is right here, in every breath, in every step, in every gaze. Each time we stop, breathe slowly, and release expectations, we immediately touch peace. The problem is not its absence, but our own forgetfulness. We have become so accustomed to rushing, to sacrificing ourselves for others, that we fail to notice the precious gift present in every moment. In relationships, too, peace is the foundation of lasting love. Love without peace is only attachment. When we love without protecting our own heart, resentment soon arises. We begin to blame the other for taking too much from us. But when love arises from a peaceful mind, it is no longer possessive or blindly self-sacrificing. It becomes a light that guides, supports, and helps both grow. The Buddha taught, love yourself first, and then you can love others completely. This does not mean placing yourself above all, but recognizing that unless you know how to care for your own heart, you will never have enough strength to care for others. Guarding your peace is not against compassion. It is the very root of true compassion. Imagine a mother who never sleeps, never eats, never tends to her own well-being, always trying to please everyone. Could she truly have the strength to raise her child and love her family with a whole heart? Certainly not. But a mother who knows how to rest, how to care for her soul, how to preserve her peace, Her embrace and her words carry warmth and stability. Her peace becomes a cradle of love for the whole family. In the same way, in our daily lives, each time we feel ourselves losing peace just to please others, let us pause and ask, is this act arising from compassion or from the fear of rejection? Am I truly giving, or am I sacrificing myself? These questions are like lamps, helping us distinguish between genuine love and blind sacrifice. And once we see clearly, we must have the courage to stop. Do not fear that refusing to please will drive people away. If a relationship survives only when we sacrifice our peace, then it was never a lasting one. Those who truly love us will understand, respect, and even be grateful when we dare to live honestly with ourselves. Finally, remember this. Every moment we preserve our peace, we are offering the world a rare and precious flower. The outer world is full of noise, competition, and turmoil. A peaceful person is like a quiet garden in the middle of the city. They need not say much, nor try to please anyone, yet their very presence is a silent reminder. We can live differently. We can live peacefully, without ever sacrificing ourselves. Letting go does not mean losing. Letting go of pretense, we rediscover authenticity. Letting go of fear, we rediscover freedom. Letting go of the urge to please everyone, we rediscover wholeness. And only then can we truly walk the Buddha's path, the path of returning to ourselves, living in peace, and from that peace, spreading love to all beings. On the journey of protecting our peace, perhaps the greatest challenge does not come from others, but from our own mind. Many times, people do not truly force us. We are the ones who pressure ourselves to follow them, to please them, to prove something. That invisible chain is woven from habit, from fear, from attachment to an image of ourselves. A passing comment from someone can stay in our heart, making us restless for days. A silence from a loved one can be misread as rejection. A single unfriendly look can grow into an obsession. Yet if we pause and look deeply into our mind, we will see that these waves of unease are not born from the outside, but from our own lack of inner steadiness. Keeping peace does not mean changing everyone around us, so they act as we wish. That is impossible. Life is ever-changing, and people's minds shift like the wind. The only place we can truly rely on is our own mind. When the mind is calm, the world feels calm. When the mind is steady, no one can shake us. Some people, at just one small criticism, become angry, wounded, feeling deeply offended. Yet there are others, even when insulted or blamed, who can still smile and remain quiet within. The difference does not lie in the words spoken, but in the strength of their inner being. This is why the Buddha taught, "The wise are not shaken by praise or blame, like a solid rock that no storm can move." We need to learn this strength, so we no longer trade away our peace for passing sounds. Each time we feel disturbed by someone's words, we can gently ask ourselves, why does this hurt me? What inside me is being touched? Am I clinging to an image, to status, to the self? When these questions are answered, we realize that the true cause of suffering is not the other person. It is our own unsettled heart. But how do we train this inner strength? The answer is mindfulness. Mindfulness is like a lamp, shining into every hidden corner of the mind. When we breathe mindfully, walk mindfully, eat mindfully, we gradually build an awakened presence. Each time anger arises, we recognize, anger is here.
Each time fear arises, we note, "Ah, fear is here." With just this recognition, without running, without suppression, the storm begins to settle. The mind is like a lake. If it is constantly stirred, the water remains muddy.
But if we sit quietly, breathe deeply, let go, the water clears again. When the mind is clear, we see things as they are, no longer distorted by craving, aversion, or fear. Then praise becomes just a passing breeze, and criticism just a drifting cloud. We are no longer pulled away. Peace becomes our companion in every step of life. There is one truth worth emphasizing. Keeping peace is an act of courage. The courage to say no when needed. The courage to live without pretense. The courage to face ourselves honestly. Society often teaches us to try harder, to please, to sacrifice. One who dares to say, "I need silence for myself," is often judged as selfish or indifferent. Yet in truth, that person has wisdom. They understand. No one can live our life for us. No one can guard our peace on our behalf. And when we keep our peace, we ourselves become a gift to the world. In fact, if you look closely, you'll see a peaceful person helps life immensely, even without doing anything. Their presence itself is a reminder that another way of living exists. Simple, gentle, free from the storms of praise and blame. Just sitting beside them, we feel our own heart soften, our breath deepen, our mind quiet down. That is the value of peace. It is not merely a comfort for ourselves, but a flame that spreads. A flame not burning fiercely, but glowing steadily, warm, gentle, and illuminating even the darkest places of the heart. So do not think of keeping peace as selfishness. Understand instead, to protect your peace is to protect peace for the world. When we are no longer restless, we do not create restlessness for others. When we no longer carry anger, we do not spread hatred. When we are steady, we become a mirror for others, showing them how to find their own steadiness. And remember, peace does not come in a day or an hour. It comes through steady practice, step by step. Each time we pause to breathe instead of reacting impulsively, we plant a seed of peace. Each time we say no to what unsettles us, we nurture peace. Each time we choose truth over pretense, we walk one step closer to our true self. This world does not need more people pretending to be happy, pretending to be kind, pretending to be whole. What it needs are souls that are truly at peace, so that from this peace, love and wisdom may blossom. And to become such a soul, nothing more is required than the courage to live authentically, to let go, and to return home to yourself. Peace is not a gift that comes from the outside. It is a fruit that blossoms from within. Once we touch true peace, we realize that all the praise and blame, success and failure out there are nothing more than passing waves. Peace itself is the vast ocean beneath, unmoved and deep, where nothing can disturb it. In daily life, we often trade away too much just to be seen, to be admired, to be acknowledged as capable and good. But then the words of praise fade, people's views change, and we find ourselves caught again in the cycle of restlessness. Only when we sit quietly and look within do we see that real happiness is not found in the eyes of others, but in our own ability to keep a calm, clear, and compassionate heart. Do not sacrifice your peace just to please someone.
Each time you do, you lose a part of yourself. And when you lose yourself, what do you have left to give to the world?
A forced smile, a kindness laced with tension, a love mixed with resentment. Is that truly what others need? Or is it that what they need most is a peaceful soul, genuine and free, full of love but unbound? The Buddha once taught, when the mind is peaceful, happiness arises. Peace is not the final reward at the end of the path. Peace is the path itself. It is each step, each breath. When we stop, breathe mindfully, and look deeply into the truth of our emotions and expectations, we discover that peace has never left us. It has always been here, simply waiting for us to return. So live as the Buddha advised. Keep your heart still in the midst of life's currents. Do not be swept away by praise or blame. Do not let fear take control. Do not let the ego dictate your path. Instead, cultivate wisdom to see impermanence clearly, nurture compassion so the heart remains open, and practice mindfulness so that each day becomes a steady step on the road to peace. Once we preserve peace within ourselves, we also offer the world its most precious gift. Our loved ones feel safe around us. Our friends learn stability from us. Even strangers who cross our path may feel their hearts soften. For peace does not need to be shown or proclaimed. It spreads on its own, like the fragrance of a lotus, like the gentle light of the morning sun. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? The fleeting echoes of praise and blame, or the lasting calm of a peaceful heart? When this question echoes inside, you will find the courage to let go of unnecessary burdens, the clarity to choose the path home. And from that moment, you begin to live differently. A life of serenity, freedom, and boundless love. Dear friend, if these reflections have touched your heart, I invite you to walk together with Buddha's wisdom journey. Here, we do not only listen to the Buddha's teachings, we pause, reflect, and bring them into our breath, our steps, our daily life, so that suffering can transform and peace can return. If today's message feels meaningful to you, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the journeys ahead. Share your thoughts in the comments. What does peace mean to you? Have you ever traded it away to please others? And what did you learn from that experience? Your reflections may not only be your own story, they may also become a gift, a light for someone else searching for their way home. Because sometimes, even a single line from you may become a lamp that brightens a lost soul. And in this connection, we are not only listening to the Dharma, we are living the Dharma, together creating a space of wisdom, compassion, and peace. Remember this, peace is the foundation of true happiness. If you can keep it, you keep everything. If you lose it, you lose yourself. So come back, guard your heart, live like the lotus, pure and radiant in the mud, untouched by the dirt around it. This is the path the Buddha walked, and this too is the path you and I can walk together. The path of wisdom, the path of compassion, the path of everlasting peace.